Hey guys, Rex here. We're going to do kind of a shifting of gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about a knife. Okay, now I am not the quintessential knife guy. I've always outsourced that to guys that I know and respect, and I select my elders wisely in their fields and in their lanes. However, I will share with you kind of what I keep in my pockets usually, okay? Now, my line-1 gear, so to speak. Line-1 gear is what you will have on you kind of at all times. So that's the stuff that at a minimum will be in your pockets, even if you're wearing basketball shorts or whatever. That's going to be the stuff that you have on you at a bare minimum, not counting what would be in your jacket or in your day pack or whatever you guys do, okay? So this is stuff that you're going to have on you all the time, okay? So with knives, I've been through a number of different knives, varying of all types over the years. But after talking to some of my mentors in certain fields who teach very specialized classes for SOF guys and who teach things like SEERs and even advanced special operations type technique classes and things like that, what like Brother Saw, for example, is very well versed in this. He's done entire classrooms on how to survive with a knife, how to cut down trees with a knife, okay? And I've heard a lot of funny stories of guys learning the hard way of how to do that. I'm not going to share all that. You can leave links for Brother Saw's channel below. Old crusty soldier and a huge amount of experience with blades, okay? So this was his recommendation to me, okay? For whatever it's worth, guys. And I hold it like a solid gold bar in terms of my opinion, because I really respect Brother Saw, and he knows me quite well. And I'm probably similar to a lot of, guys that, soldiers or privates in the regards that sometimes if you're not like really into something, you just need something that's tough, is going to work well, and is relatively low maintenance. And so this is from Cold Steel, okay? This is the Voyager, okay? Now, this is, I believe it's about 4.5 ounces, maybe a little more. The blade is 3.5 millimeters thick, and it's AUS10A or AUS10A steel. So it's got some pretty good properties. It's got, I don't know if you guys are nerding out on the steel all that much, but it's hard, but it's also flexible. There's vanadium in here, which contributes to the carbide formation. You can study the value of the steel and the heat treating that Cold Steel has employed over the years. I used to nerd out on the steel a long time ago. I thought that was fun, especially in the context of swords. But each different steel is going to have different areas where it really, really shines, so to speak. Okay, so it's hard but flexible. You can get it real sharp. It's maybe, for certain things you have to, of course, anything you have to use properly not to break it. But this thing overall is extremely tough, okay? Now, this is what I believe he recommends to a lot of SOF guys to have in their kit for certain classes, because this is like a go-to kind of option, kind of like similar to maybe equivalent to like a Glock, right? So a Glock is just boring, but it's going to work. And so that's kind of what I gathered from what he explained on his recommendation. One huge deal the guys won't know until they do it is the locking mechanism. See that? So this thing has a very, very robust lock. And it has a good grip, so you can grip it high and tight, and you're not going to lose grip of that. And you got I got very large hands. I got a full grip on this knife, okay? If you were to do an X cut or whatever, you can baton this in here and cut trees down if you are trained or know what you're doing, right? Now, this one doesn't have as many miles on it as probably a lot of you guys, but I use my knife like most normal people will use it, opening mostly cardboard boxes. I cut through rubber hose, I cut through tarps, cut through straps, just general purpose. I use it to pry stuff open. I've used it with a little baton or hammer to actually do fine carving, like for installing electronics in walls and like locks and stuff like that. So I use it as a chisel sometimes. I got a few of these, so I'm not sure which one to say. Use it for a bottle opener. You can, I mean, the knife is a tool you can use a lot for a lot of things. But according to my elders, I just wanted to share this with you. And if you guys want to learn more about knives, that's not my lane. I'm just sharing with you what I keep in my pockets because people were asking. But in my experience, which is what it is, I mean, I've swam in the ocean with this. Okay, I always have a knife on me, and I always have a pistol on me, even if I'm swimming in the ocean with basketball shorts on. I have a Glock on me and a knife. If I'm in a swimming pool, believe it or not, I always have this knife with me. And so a lot of things like that, you're going to have to wash it off because chlorine or salt water is corrosive. So I'll just wash it off in the sink whenever I get a chance. But I don't really baby these things like some guys do, and I'm not really all that well. Some guys are really good at sharpening. I got a brother who's just like really, really good knife guy, like that guy in Commando who really likes his knife. It kind of reminds me of that, just really into it. And if I need something sharpened, I'll go to some of those guys and have them get it real sharp. But I mean, this thing I've used for a while, and I don't think I've sharpened it more than like once. And it holds an edge for a long time. And when you're cutting through a lot of cardboard and stuff like that, and dirty bicycle inner tubes, and just normal stuff, digging holes with it, stuff will get dull quick. But this has been very tough so far. And I think it's been, when did I get this? Maybe 4 years. Okay, so I got about 4 years on this, and I got a couple of them, right? So I keep them in different places and stuff like that. But if you guys want to dig one of these, they're like $50. I'll share a link below if you guys want to look at the details of the exact model that I have here. I'm not going to nerd out on all the stuff. The handle is, I think they call it the Griv-Ex, or I don't know how they pronounce all their stuff. It has the triad lock. I know is a really strong sales point on these things from a survival or prepper viewpoint, because these things are where a lot of other knives that are hundreds and hundreds of dollars will break with certain use. This sucker will hold up and outperform a lot of several $100 knives. So Cold Steel has always given you a rugged quality for the dollar. It is made in Taiwan. We can see that right here. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a very tough knife for a folder. And this triad lock here has been very successful for extreme goofy, for use that might be pretty extreme. Okay, and they will absolutely, I know that SOF guys will train very hard, and they'll use knives for stuff you never thought was possible, where you would go get an axe or a shovel, and try to do something with a knife. I mean, they'll learn how to do pretty much everything with one of these. Some guys will make a little divot in here so you can do your bow for starting fires or whatever is a case planning deal. I've seen a lot of these modified. Some of them, some guys paint them. But this thing has been pretty darn reliable. So I'll leave a link below. You guys can check it out. What else am I missing on the details? I mean, it's relatively boring, but guys are asking. Most of the time I'm carrying this. If I'm wearing, it depends on what I'm wearing, because I do like to lounge around while I'm doing my trees and doing gardening and driving the tractor when it's hot out, especially. I'll adjust my wardrobe. Sometimes it might just be like a tactical, robe. Or like no, not a robe. What do they call those things? A muumuu? I'm joking. Okay. But depending on what you're wearing, I'll throw this in my pocket. It's a little, sometimes I'll throw a skinnier or a lighter knife in the pocket, depending on what I'm doing for that day. But this has been a pretty decent tool. Okay. And I mean, using the handle as a pry bar hundreds or maybe even thousands of times over the last 4 years, you can't really see that it's wearing out. And I haven't had anything come loose, or I haven't really done any maintenance on this, besides rinsing it off once in a while because it does get dirty. But there it is. Check it out. All right, Rex out.